traditional rulers across Nigeria, for instance.
I arrived to witness what I was going to go through. I wanted my brother to witness what I was going to go through, so that tomorrow.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you might be. I'd like to welcome you to Open Conversations with Frederick Harry. I'm continuing on my subject of culture talk. In my last episode, I was with a lawyer, Barrister Okey Nnebedum, who is quite abreast with traditional issues. He is from the East. As you know, I had started from the Esan tribe in Edo State. Today, upon popular demand, I'm also speaking to one from the East who knows what the time is as far as culture is concerned. Barrister Okey, welcome. Good to see you again today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well done.
Thanks for the last time too.
Yeah, it's okay. Good to
You
have
must be very lucky.
I don't
My itinerary is free today.
I know. You know, it was a bit difficult to have you trap you down today.
Yes.
Very good to have you here.
Wonderful.
I had asked in the last episode about a myth. I'd like to start from that point.
Oh.
That the Igbo woman, if you want to go and marry, as a matter of fact, it was two myths. One of them was if you wanted to go and marry in Igbo culture, you need to be sure that you had worked in a bank for like 10 years and thereabout, and you've saved so much money to be able to marry an Igbo woman. That would be one. But basically, I want us to get into, what constitutes customary marriage in Igbo culture. But maybe you want to, because I had mentioned to my guest that I will come back to the myth. So maybe you want to tell me, does it cost the arm and a leg to marry in the East?
It does not cost an arm and a leg. And you've gotten it right. It's a myth. And I would have subjected you to some cross-examination, put you on the spot to say, who said that? Under what circumstance? And then, again, what are their proofs? What are their evidence? Now, it is a myth, and it remains so. And my first reaction is to debunk that assertion. It is not so. And also to start with, my fellow graduates who are bankers, they may not be the best money bags. The money bags now thrives within an industry that is thriving in Nigeria, and that is politics. Politics is the biggest business in town.
Oh, okay. I thought
the bankers are not the
I thought you were going to talk about something else, but it's okay. Some that the young boys.
It doesn't take a money bag to marry from Igbo land. Not in Enugu, not in Imo, not in Abia, not anywhere. Igbo have a monocultural practices that are domesticated within every tribe. There are tribes within tribes. There are tongues within tribes.
Yeah.
Like the last time, we talked about the Igbo language generally, and they have the dialectical renditions. The way an Ngwa man speaks and renders Igbo language would be very interesting to an Onisha man. And by the time you listen to the Onisha man rap, you say, whoa, this one, you use it to toast women. You use a number to toast women. And then you use Abia to do business like a market. And then you use Enugu to be real, to protect your integrity.
I haven't heard this before.
Yeah. We have some of those kind of, if you are constant with our entertainers, all those guys who do skits, and, they are thriving in it. They always spread some of those, the guy Tutu Gaga and all this. So first of all, domesticate it within the Umuna levels, the kindred. That is what is called Umuna.
Okay.
The Umuna raises a list.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming. Law. Does it? I think I'd like to start from that point. Does it demand more when you're married? When you are approaching to marry as a non-native, compared to if you were a native, which is to say, I am an Esan man. Okay. I am an Esan man. I want to come and I'm approaching a girl.
Okay, from no. There are no such
Same
things.
list.
Same list. In fact, the list is blind to tribe. Is blind to whether you are coming from.
Okay, okay,
White
okay,
men
okay.
has married from us.
Okay, run me through it. My last guest, Chief Nick Kakulu, who ran us through the Esan culture, had told us about introduction. You get introduced, like a would-be groom would get to. He describes it as marriage as a family. There's a phrase that he used that is described as networking,
Okay.
like a family approaching another family. I think that's how it is typically in Africa, right?
Very in Africa.
Now, and then the first thing they do is introduction, and then they do the marriage proper.
Yes.
Is that the same thing as
It is the same thing, but we call it different names. The first one
Okay.
is a young girl, first of all, tells the dad, of course, when she comes of age, either the mom who are close to them will tell her, we've not been seeing any man around you and all
Comes
stuff.
of age, what would that define that?
From 16, 18, that is universal suffrage age,
From 16, 18?
16, 18.
Okay.
But some suitors will start coming when the girl attains puberty. But it doesn't happen this time, this digital age.
So
In
what
Igbo
happens
land,
now?
What happens now is that families want to train their kids,
Okay.
at least to get out of secondary school.
At what age would you have your daughter?
16.
No, excuse me. You didn't hear me.
Would you have your daughter?
Would you have your daughter, would you be comfortable for your daughter to bring a man to you that, Dad, I want to get married? At what age would it be?
Well, as soon as she attains puberty, she will begin to entertain, or suitors will begin to come for her. But it behoves on the parents to put the benchmark.
I'm asking
You wouldn't.
you.
I don't have okay. If you're asking me, I don't have a female child.
If you had a female child.
If I have a female child, I would permit her to bring them home
Okay.
from the university age, probably third year, a year to graduation.
Okay.
Because anything beyond that time or before that time will be distraction.
Okay.
And
So,
she wouldn't be matured emotionally enough. It is
what-
not about age.
so what, like,
It's about
okay,
emotional intelligence.
like what age, from what age bracket, what range of, would you say that a girl is mature enough?
1921. 1921.
You don't think that they'll be too young at less than 20?
19 to 21, I said. 19 to 21. Because if you enter, most kids graduate 16 years now from from college. And then 16 plus 4 years in the university is about 20. So if they begin to entertain suitors from 19 years, it's not difficult. But by the time she gets to 23, she should be able to determine and know who she really wants to spend the rest of her life with. It is her decision, but it is our guidance as parents. It's our guidance as parents who guide her with these are the realities and that. But she eventually chooses. We don't choose for our girls. We don't. But to provide guidance. And in some families, there may be specifics. But in Igbo land, we don't choose for anybody, generally. And then we are blind to tribe. Yeah. Our list doesn't know Kenyan. It doesn't know the Caucasian. It doesn't know the American. Our list only knows and recognizes about 4 things, starting from number 1. She has parents. There is the money you do for the mother.
Okay.
Her mother has Unyomudi. Various people that were also married into that kindred. Along with that, they're called Unyomudi. She has attended the marriage of some other fellow Unyomudi. And her own is being betrothed. So they have a list. And the list comes with some like bar soaps, toilet soap, bottle or crate of malt, and maybe
How do they get the list? Who issues the list to?
Umuna issues the list.
Who
issues
is
the list.
Umuna?
Umuna is kindred.
Okay.
Where
At what point is that list issued?
The list is issued at the point of the third coming and that request.
The third coming.
The third coming, yes.
Can you break that down?
The first coming is, like I said, the little girl has come of age and then she said, Daddy, Mommy, somebody wants to see you guys. Who is that person? They would have done their homework very well. I say, bring him. The young man is permitted to come either with one person alone. Of course, young men of these days are very dramatic. They would have combed around. They would have seen some faces. They would have had some friends, made friends, you know. But on that official visit, he must come with at least one person. And that person is not sensitively, must not sensitively be a family member.
Okay.
Just a friend to him, or even a friend within the community or within the state.
Okay.
That you can say, okay, this is the son of this village and stuff. It gives that confidence. It makes the family feel at home that this guy, even though he's coming from maybe wherever,
yeah,
he has a friend whose father we know, or whose village we know, or whose name we know.
So his girlfriend would have helped him share.
All those things are dramatic now. You do your, so that's why I say you do your homework very well. You know what your father would, you know what to raise red flag to your father.
Yeah.
So you avoid some of those. And
so second coming.
Second coming, you come with at least 2 family members.
On the first coming, what's required of you to come with?
You may come with just a loaf of bread. I came to see some people here. You know, this girl, I know her, and there's a shop down there. I bought a loaf of bread. I bought banana too. I bought granite. I mean,
so
my name is this and that.
So he's saying the father.
In the second coming,
no, one moment.
You must come with.
He's saying at that first coming.
You are seeing the father and the mother.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
In the second coming,
is the father obligated to invite any family members?
No.
At
that point.
It's like
he will ask few questions to know the young man.
So on the second coming.
On the second coming, by that time, he would have established relationship. I mean, some contact and further details with the young man to know a little further.
Okay.
You know, and then the young man will say, "We want to come on this date. I'm coming with my dad, my uncle." You know, I said at least 2 persons. There may be more than that.
Okay.
But no more than 5.
Okay.
And at that point too, they will be entertained. You know, there's no entertainment in the
first
because
one.
we didn't know that he's coming. He's just a stranger.
Oh, who just threw in?
Yeah, who just threw in. But this time around, there's
a formality in it.
Something formality. And he comes in, you know, does introduction. This is my dad, this, that. And at that point in time, the father of the bride would have also called some family members. I mean, family. If it's in your family now, the dehere.
Yeah.
Only.
Okay.
Only. Uncle and aunt. Only. And they may be obliged to prepare a few foodstuffs, you know, just to entertain them. And these guys may be also obliged to come with a keg of palm wine, if it's possible for them.
Okay.
The local palm wine. You have 2 types of them, the raffia palm wine and the up palm wine we call the nkwocha and ngwo.
So at that point, what's the importance or
the importance of that one? He would define his mission. And it's always defined in rhetorics or in proverbs. The introduction will be done by
his dad.
The dad.
Okay.
The dad will say, "My fellow parent, my son said, he told me that there is a ripe plantain here, a ripe apple here that he wants to pluck, you know." And he will reply and say, "I have, if you're referring to my daughters as apples, I have 3 of them. Which particular one, you know?" And then maybe we'll do some identification parade. You
okay,
know,
at that second
you
call.
mention the particular one, and then she comes to greet. Nneka. There's some people who came to say Nneka is dramatizing because all these things were already known. So comes, okay, this young man says he met you somewhere. And do you know her? Do you know him, rather? Yes, Papa, I know him. Okay. They said, they will do some of those optics. And she goes back. Now, my in-law to be, you are welcome. She says she knows your son. It's all right. When your son came here with his friend, I even know his friend. You know, his friend is the son of one of our big traders in Kano. Yes, all right. And
culture is sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, culture is sweet.
Very sweet. You know, and the dad will say, even at that point, that young man you talked about was a trader but I was a student in university days. Sometimes it will be very difficult for me in school. I will come out from campus and he will know, oh, you know him personally?
Yeah.
He's my friend. Just that he died something. Yes,
Wow.
yes, okay. All right. My wife just did a few things while we are drinking. Just entertain yourselves. Get entertained. In-law, let me not forget to. Now that it looks like this thing is going to work out. Can we have the hormonal list?
Okay.
So that we know what it takes, and because in Igbo land we know the father will respond and say, in Igbo land, a man does not own a child. It is captured in a name that people call Nwora. Have you ever heard such name? Nwora. Nwa bu Nwora. Ora means the public. Nwa means son or child. So Nwora philosophy means that it takes a community to raise a child.
That's same thing with, yeah.
Thank you. So myself and my wife, we don't have any problem, provided your son treats her good. This is my elder brother. He's the eldest in the Umona. He can as well help leverage with his position on the Umona. Now, if we say go ahead, the Umona, dovetails. That will not be a problem. But it takes some, we can exchange phone numbers so that we can give out the list to you in due time. But for now, be entertained with my wife's delicacies. In fact, my daughter is also good, like what her mother does very well. You will enjoy the meal. You will enjoy it. I even went to my in-laws' place to get you this nkwacha.
Wow.
He brings it out, and people will be entertained. And at the end of the day, they will remind them again the list, because it's very important.
Yeah, that's why
So we'll send it across to you. Send it across to you. You know why I'm asking in-law? I'm asking. This my son. They just finished youth service, but he wants to go and do his master's abroad. And he wants this thing. I don't know, children. Okay, Neka has been telling me, okay, they want to go together. So in-law, they will chop knuckles. These children of these days, they don't go kill us. Okay, and they will go, and the list is sent. What is in the list?
The list will come later, or could it come immediately?
It will go through a go-between. You don't give them list on that.
Beautiful.
It passes through a go-between. There's always a go-between.
Yeah.
But the agent,
who determines the agent? In Eastern we call it Oswonga. Oswonga is somebody who leads you to.
Yes.
Yeah.
We call it Onye Akebe.
Onye Akebe.
Akebe means witness.
Witness. Onye Akebe.
Yes, Onye Akebe.
So how is that person determined?
The go-between is determined by the in-laws. The groom. Oh, the groom? Yes. It's part of what you leverage your daughter and your daughter's capacity, knowledge of her community and stuff. Like in my place, in my marriage, during my marriage, I never knew I was going to marry from the place I got married to. I never knew. I served a young man. In fact, both of them established chambers in Onitsha. I will tell their name for now, but they are prominent lawyers in Onitsha. And they used to help me very well when I was in the university in Enugu. Weekends and oftentimes I would leave Enugu, enter Onitsha and stay with them. Little did I know that I would be their in-law today. Wow. So when the journey started, there were some hiccups, which, okay, let me mention some of those hiccups. There will be determinations as to, are they outcasts?
The Osu factor.
Are they outcasts?
Factor. Let me take this opportunity to ask you, to deviate a little and ask you about the Osun factor. How do you spell the Osun? O-S-U-N.
No, O-S-U.
O-S-U, Osu. No N. Osu. Ladies and gentlemen, here is it. As I've always said, culture is sweet. I'll be right back. Welcome back. I've been talking to one of our rental brothers in Nigeria, Barrister Okey Nnebedum. Did I get that right this time?
Nnebedun.
Nnebedum, okay. The subject again is marriage. You know, we're just laying foundation to it. I was asking you, tell me, you were, if I got you right, we were at the point of obtaining list from
yes.
would be from the in-law to be, right?
Yes.
And then you were saying that you mentioned that one hindrance could be Osu, the Osu factor. Does that still exist?
Oh, yes, it does. And it exists in line with so many other factors.
Okay.
I will return back to Osu, but let's just run down the list. It could be Osu factor.
Okay.
And for those who don't understand, Osu means this discrimination as to that has to do with the caste system.
Use the language. System. That's still very technical.
Okay.
Use the language that everybody would know it to be.
What will it be? Discrimination against the caste system. Those who are devoted to the gods. That is what it means in some villages.
Slaves, isn't it? Slaves.
Oh, not slaves, not slaves, not slaves, not slaves, not slaves. Those who are devoted to, you know,
okay,
there are some days, sometimes.
We will get to that. That subject of Osu is something that we'll dedicate
very
episode to talk about.
Exhaustively deal with it because
please,
I'm telling you to, the subject matter has even gone to the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we need to deal with it exhaustively.
That'll be fine.
It could be a factor, number one. Another factor could be the factor that has to do with longevity, or longevity versus the issue of suicide. Is it traceable to the lineage of the family that are coming in? Because the Igbo man sees marriage as the extension of my family beyond.
Yeah.
It could be to the next village, it could be to the next local government, it could be to the next state, it could be to the next tribe, it could be to the ends of the world. My village, where I come from,
amongst this factor,
we have given our daughter away in marriage to people from Haiti.
Wow.
In Southern America. You can say to that extent.
Yeah.
Now, if the factor of Osu doesn't become a hindrance, then suicide, then ill health challenges like leprosy or
from the family
that is coming in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if they have health issue, if they have any form of social discrimination against them, health and all of that.
Health challenges.
So would you go and would you go and investigate? Do that investigation?
Investigations are done. Yes.
Now, at what point would that be done? At the point
it starts from
before
the very first day the young man came to your house.
Oh, okay.
You would, you know, Igbos are very widely traveled people. There is no city in the 36 states of the country that you don't have Igbos. You will always, you know, get the President General of your town union.
So I need to get that properly again. Factors that could hinder the list.
The issuance of the list for you to now say that you have been granted visa, to say.
Okay.
To come.
Okay.
Yes, because once the list is issued to you, it means that we have welcomed you. And so the list could be monetized sometimes, but we'll come to that. When
the list could be monetized.
Yeah, the list could be monetized.
The list could be monetized.
For people who are from far distances, you know, it could be monetized, and your in-laws will help you domesticate those contents of the list when you send money.
All right.
So that you don't have to travel from all the way your Edo State or your
and if you're in America
or if you're in America, we also have marriage by proxy.
Okay, I'd like to take this. Yes. I'd like to get into this in the next segment of this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very immensely for being part of this conversation so far. I'd like to take the next line of discussion on my next segment of this episode. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. In the previous, in the earlier segment, we talked about, we we're building up to, on the subject of traditional or customary marriage. We've built up to the list, issuance of the list. Some of the factors that had been enumerated by my guests is that that could hinder you being issued the list has to do with if you have the caste segment of whatever, if you have health, if your family has health issue, and then if you have any form of social or health discrimination, that is.
Yes.
So yeah, right
including the cell issues we call the AA and AS factors.
Okay.
Also, the daughter will be admonished by the father. Have you done your blood group or genotype with this young man? And present the list. Present the test results in at least 3 major laboratories that will confirm that you are compatible for AS factor, AA factor, and all those genotype stuff. Once you cross that litmus, it is a green card. You can now come in. Now let's talk about the list. The list contains...
Just to mention, if you didn't follow my first episode, the earlier segments of this episode, I am talking with Barrister Okey Nnebedum. Okey Nnebedum is from Enugu. What's the state? What's your local
government? Okey River.
Okey River. So I'd like you to please tag along as we go. So
all right, for the Okey River people, when they issue you the list in any of the villages, in any of the hamlets there, the list contains requirements for fulfillment of what goes to the mother, what goes to her age grade, the bride's age
all the
grade.
arms and the legs that they say.
I'm talking about all the arms and the legs now.
And
all the arms and the legs don't cost as much as you hear flying around the social media.
Now, on the average, if I were to marry an Igbo girl right now,
from my village,
from your village, remember you had said, except you are retracting that is almost like a general thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If I'm marrying on the average, like how much do I need for that? I'm not talking about the social event.
Between 100 and 120,000.
That low?
Yes.
Is therefore a myth. What people say that
Thank you.
costs so much.
Thank you. We need this advocacy in order to debunk those myths.
Make the advocacy.
The advocacy is this. What goes to the mother wouldn't be much more than probably an amarula, a milk, wine, and
she don't see amarula
cartons.
before. Where she they take, as the mother said, somebody who is in the village, has she seen amarula before?
Who told you that she not seen? Why do you underrate Igbos?
It's not kind that she has seen before the law.
Igbos don't do kai.
What's this? What they?
Ungo.
Okay.
Unko.
Okay.
And red wine.
Okay.
And milk wine. Cream wine. Cream, they call it. And probably 1 crate of malt drink. That is for the mother. And probably 1 or 2 figures.
If you say, give me the range of budget it will require again.
100 to 120,000.
Could I hold you to that?
You can hold me to that.
Ladies and
hold
gentlemen,
me down to my local
Have you been married in the East once? Have you experienced any marriage from the East once? Do you agree with what my lawyer guest has said here today? I'm not agreeing with it.
Not more than 120.
No more than the 120.
Now let's talk about what would make those on the other side call it a myth. A myth in the sense that the person's coming for the marriage. It could be the son of a deputy governor. It could be the son of the governor himself. Like I've told you, politics is the biggest business in Nigeria today. It could be the contact, the level of prestige attached to those who are coming to marry.
So they would
and
increase.
Again, pari passu with the prestige of the family you are entering into.
So
now, you need to take a canopy, village canopy that costs less than 15,000 for 12 hours. You mount it in the morning and then dismantle it in the evening. They want to rent from those event planners
Yeah,
whose canopy costs 1/10 alone.
Yeah, that's okay. That's understandable. That's not peculiar to. I mean, that becomes a social status issue. And
so why are they blackmailing the Igbos, calling it a myth, marrying from us? They need we demand an apology for them because it's not peculiar to Igbos. It is on the whims and caprices. Or now let's even say that it depends on the prestige of the people coming. What will be your choices? Some of them want to fuel their bulletproof cars. It does not concern the in-laws. Whether you are coming on private jets, if you factor that into cost, it will be costing close to 10 million to go to Enugu and Anambra to marry this girl. Don't say that the family costed you 10 million.
I'm trying to agree with what you're saying, but
you just
something inside of me is not agreeing with what you're saying.
You will not agree because people cast in their costs.
Is it true?
Of their personal indulgences.
Is it true that is it true that Igbo girls usually don't get married? That they get of age before they get married?
No, really, because it is not true.
The process of getting married could be very expensive.
It is not. I just told you it's 120,000 at most.
I'm finding it hard to believe.
You wouldn't find it hard to believe if you agree with me that we go factually. I've told you my village, I've told you my local government, I've told you my state.
Are you speaking for your village?
I'm speaking for.
Or you are speaking for the Igbo tribe?
I'm speaking for the Igbo tribe. It is not that expensive. I don't see any umunna. We have the.
But have you heard? I mean, on a serious note,
I've heard.
Have you heard that Igbo girls usually get of age, they really get mature before they get married, and they don't get married early because men dread. You know, men dread going to approach the Igbo.
It is a myth. It's not true. I've told you here that the Igbo man has a pride. He wants to train his daughter to become a graduate before he gives her out in marriage.
I'll ask you one question.
Go ahead.
All of this will take up in probably some other episodes, right?
Okay.
I'll ask you one question. It has to do with inheritance. It's very key to me. Okay? Now, when an Igbo girl cohabits with a man, whether an Igbo or a non-native, and they have children together, how does the Igbo culture interpret, you know, that that union?
First of all, it said
one moment happens. As a lawyer, you are a lawyer.
Yes.
Is there anything such as legitimate or illegitimate child within the context of your law, culture, and you know, from the legal part?
Yes. There is no such thing as legitimate or illegitimate child. You may want to, you know, advance that argument at the point that there are adults, delinquent adults, who have willfully or deliberately or indeliberately have conducted themselves in such a way that they have violated some legitimate customary rights.
Beautiful.
But you don't visit such consequences on the innocent product of a biological process. Because childbirth is a biological process. It's not a cultural process.
So
you don't use culture and custom and law. It's not legal process.
So at what point is it customary right, correct, to say that a lady has been married? For instance, the list has been issued. Once the list has been issued, right?
Yes.
Now, on the D-Day, you know, a marriage date was fixed, right?
Yes.
And then the entirety of that list has been fulfilled.
Fulfilled, whether monetized or not, directly
or whatever.
Right? But you know, the entertainment is also for the guests. Those ones are not costed into the list.
No,
it depends on how you want your event to happen.
Yeah, I'm taking that for granted. I mean, the social aspect. I mean, it cuts across really, Yorubas and all. Yeah.
However you want your party to be. You can make a general party. You can make a very modest party.
Beautiful. So a dowry passes hand, right? And then the girl is...
Dowry is oftentimes also returned. Some dowries are not up to 20,000.
Okay, assume whichever way. I mean, that process is done, right?
It's not even in the list.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I think so.
Because you just bring it. In fact, the groom doesn't even do much. In Igbo land, the marriage is between the two fathers-in-law.
Yeah, which is a family.
Yes. Because like on the day of my marriage, I was just seated down, I've already prepared my dad with all the stuffs and my uncles, you know. They were seated down, doing their stuff, talking with their in-laws, exchanging this. Oh, I'm not selling my daughter. Oh, I can't be selling my daughter. This money is too much.
There's something I don't want to miss in this episode. Okay. I'm very sorry that I'm interjecting. I really wish you can flow, you know. There's something I don't want to miss. Now, my earlier guest, when he was talking about what happens in the Esan tribe, he said something that when a woman, a bride, is pregnant at that point of the event of marriage, that dowry is often not, the process is not usually allowed to be perfected. What that means is that you could do all the ceremonies, but that money that passes hand from father to as the father's money will usually not pass hand until she has delivered, and then they can now bring that money to come and.
It does not happen in Igbo. It does not happen. Oh, it does not happen whether she is free, whether she has taken in, or whether the gestation period has advanced. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Even whether she has put to bed, it doesn't really also matter.
Good. That brings me to a question. That the bride price, the dowry, is usually more when good is relative to. See, the law. You are not saying the truth. You're not saying the entire truth, because we hear
falsehood travels faster.
That when a child is well educated, that the dowry or whatever, you know, is
higher when the child is highly educated.
On the investment that the parent has made.
It depends also. It depends also on what I just want to tell you now. Let me use my own scenario. My father-in-law would tell my dad that this is not just a graduate; she's a master's degree holder. You know,
beautiful. That a lot of investment has
that
gone.
We cannot accept this now. You know,
you're coming back to the same thing.
Do this and do that. Okay, we went outside. My dad increased the stuff. Bam. You know. Oh, the next thing will be Ogado. Okay, we appreciate my in-laws, but we are not selling this girl now. I'm only keen that your son Okey takes care of it. I mean, we're not selling. Look at the plenty money you brought. But they are the one that told us that she's not an ordinary SSC holder. These things are optics. These things are drama.
No, but they're not.
To make beautiful.
They are not just drama, okay? They are not just drama.
In Igbo land,
you are being a very strong advocate for your tribe. Number one, let me even ask. Tell me, how is that your tribe called? In my place, they call it Ishan. But the right word is Esan. How do you call your tribe? No. The general, I don't want to use the word. The general...
Igbo.
How do you spell?
I-G-B-O.
Igbo.
Igbo.
All right, then. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a good one. We'll continue this conversation next time. Thank you.